49ers versus Cardinals recap. Let's get right into it. I've got a couple notes prepared that I want to share with everybody. The Cardinals started off the game scoring. They had a pretty good, solid opening script, and then, uh, I feel like in this game we really felt the absence of Eric Armstead and Javon Hargrave. Sort of, I guess, being able to stop the run in the middle. I know Armstead. I mean, that's his specialty is clogging up the middle so that way the linebackers are able to plug up the holes better and they don't get obliterated by offensive linemen going up to the second level. Um, you know, uh, the Niners were able to overcome that with their like constant offense, but just kind of going through stuff that also stuck out to me was when the Niners finally did get the ball back on offense after that opening script. Debo was left wide open for a touchdown, on the wheel route. I want to say it was the Niners' first drive.
I think
So,
so. Yeah.
so then it was 7-7. Um, and then later on, Charvarius Ward had a great play on the pick six. It wasn't a good throw by Kyler Murray, but it was an excellent play by Ward to find the opening and not he caught the ball and didn't hesitate. Like he was, I've said it multiple times before on this stream. It's like, you can tell when players are going like their mission, they're not looking to like just gain yards. They're going for six. Charvarius Ward, that's exactly what he was doing as soon as he got the ball. So it was a good play, no hesitation, took it to the house. Purdy was nearly picked early in the second quarter, forcing it to Debo. Purdy didn't throw any interceptions that I remember. Like, Purdy played. His completion percentage wasn't as high as it normally is, but I think Purdy played a fantastic game. I think he ended up with like 4 passing touchdowns. Just a great day for Brock Purdy. I didn't like that throw, to Debo. Luckily, it wasn't intercepted, so it shouldn't be a talking point, but just something I sort of wrote down in the moment. Nick Bosa had a great he had a great first half with a sack. It was like I don't know if they credited it to Bosa like just on his own, because he kind of combined for a sack with Javon Kinlaw. But the broadcast seemed to just be panning over to Nick Bosa and credit him for the sack. So, Bosa got Murray on that, and then there was another sack where it was a strip sack, but Arizona was able to recover it. But Nick Bosa had a great first half. And then, things started to get interesting in the game when, McCaffrey checked himself out of the game due to, some sort of knee discomfort. I didn't get a chance to hear Kyle Shanahan talk about it after the game and sort of clarify what was going on with McCaffrey. But I know he got his knee taped up. And, like literally the next play or 2 plays after, Brock Purdy also went out of the game. What I thought was, in my opinion, kind of a dirty hit by number 45 on Arizona. I would say dirty in today's standards of the NFL because you're not supposed to, you're not supposed to have helmet to helmet contact. And, on the replay, you just see him make contact. You see Purdy's head kind of cock back a little bit. I thought Purdy might have had a concussion. I even wrote down, Purdy down after the play, possible concussion, but it ended up being a stinger, to his left shoulder, and Purdy was able to check back in after. But Sam Darnold came in, and like I was literally thinking, last week I was like, man, Purdy is so he's so fun to watch, and I'm like, I really like Brock Purdy, and then like I was just thinking like, I really liked Trey Lance, and then I'm just thinking, I don't like Sam Darnold. Like I was thinking that last week. I was like, I hope I never have to see Sam Darnold play because like I don't like him. And then I just sort of had these like thoughts to myself. And then Sam Darnold had to go in the game when Brock Purdy went in the medical tent. And all right, I'm still here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. My screen like went to like sleep for a second. Uh, Sam Darnold checked into the game and he had like one of his first throws was like a hospital ball to George Kittle, and it's like, get him the fuck out of there. I I don't think Sam Darnold's a good quarterback, and you know I don't know why he was brought in, but bringing in Sam Darnold enabled the 49ers to recoup you know, a fourth round pick with Trey Lance and a little bit of cap space. So, it kind of is what it is, but I think it's got to be, it's Purdy or bust, I think, for this team. I don't know if the 49ers, even with all their playmakers, could win a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold. So, I just pray that, Purdy continues to, keep himself protected and, just he's able to keep himself healthy. Knock on wood, right?
Yeah. Can I say one thing?
Yeah, go
Because
for it.
I think that's a good segue. Because you mentioned you think that the play where he got the stinger was a potential penalty in today's NFL. The only reason I disagree, because I do agree, like he hit him in the helmet, but like how like one of the penalties is like if you go low on a quarterback, it's automatic penalty unless you
Mhm,
get pushed into him. Like this one was like he was jumping to deflect the pass, and Purdy was running forward because he essentially kind of became a runner, and he's out of the pocket. The linebacker comes in at him and jumps to deflect the pass as Purdy throws it over him, but he
mhm,
still has his momentum going forward, and that player is in midair coming towards him, momentum towards him. When he comes down, his arm kind of hits him, and I think the top or the bottom of his like face mask probably hits his helmet as well. Like it just seemed like bad luck to me. It didn't seem like a penalty to me. Um, I
Well,
think really it's something where Purdy needs to get out of the way. He
I
or
I
fake it. I don't know.
I think it was called a
Obviously,
penalty because of the helmet to helmet contact. Um,
maybe.
I think it was called a penalty, but where I said it was like borderline, I think it was borderline dirty because of the helmet to helmet, like just sort of, today's standards of the NFL. But at the end of the day, it's football. Brock Purdy was fine, but I do remember like in the moment, like just like, man, what the hell was that?
Mm,
And then
yeah.
there was actually like there was a similar play, I think, where Kyler Murray also got hurt on a hit. I want to say it might have been Cleveland Farrell who hit Kyler Murray, and Farrell was like, you could see he's doing everything in his power to not land with his body weight, and he looks up at the official like just to make sure, because he hit Kyler Murray hard, and then Kyler Murray was like kind of shaken up and got knocked out of the game. Um, but Kyler Murray eventually checked back into the game and was fine. And I was like, man, so I'm just here thinking I'm gonna talk about that this play was like borderline dirty, and then you're gonna have like there's just gonna be people where like, oh, you think that's kind of dirty, but you don't think that's kind of dirty. I don't know. I felt like the hit on Murray was kind of a clean hit. The um the hit where number 45 knocked Purdy out of the, temporarily out of the game, I feel like it was an awkward hit. It was
Right.
awkward, and I just say borderline dirty because it's like you see you see the helmet to helmet contact, and they're like, in today's NFL, they're getting rid of that. Like,
Right.
period. It doesn't matter
Well,
if you're quarterback or not.
right. I don't fully remember the play. I thought I remember seeing it as he jumped up to try to deflect the pass. Is still coming down with momentum, gravity naturally bringing him down towards Purdy, who is running towards him. It just seemed like a freak thing. Now, if he was running and hit some helmet to helmet, easy, But I don't quite remember, so I'm not going to fully say. But from what I remember, if I remember it correctly, I don't think it's that bad. It's more of like bad luck.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then Purdy checks back into the game and has a sweet extended play and throw to Kittle right before the 2-minute warning. And then right after that, Purdy throws a dot to McCaffrey for a touchdown. And then I think the 49ers forced the Cardinals to punt at a certain point, or it might have even been, on a kickoff return. But Ronnie Bell gave me Kyle Williams flashbacks because he was wearing number 10, and I don't know, just sort of their body composition is like very similar. And Ronnie Bell, fumbled, and the Cardinals took it for a touchdown, and it's like, man, what the hell is going on? And then so it was called back, and I think rightfully so, because his forearm was down. And then I don't know what Charles Davis was looking at, in the broadcast. Like, he was like, oh, it's clear that his hand is up, so his forearm's not hitting the ground.
Right. He was like holding the football obviously like this, and when he came down, it looked like he went on his hand, but still this part of his elbow touched the ground. So I was like, I don't really know what you're getting at here, but I think the point that he may have had was, in college, you catch a pass, you fall down, nobody touches you, you're down. That's the rule.
Mm-hmm.
In the NFL, you catch a pass, nobody touches you, you fall down, you can get back up and run. I think his point was also, if he wasn't touched and he went down on his own, kind of, momentum, trying to juke and fell down, tried to get up and fumble the ball, that's a fumble. But I think it was determined in the replay, and what the referee said was number 83 of the Cardinals touched him before he went down, and he's down. So I think that's what Charles Davis was trying to say, but he was kind of butchering it.
He was butchering, he was butchering that. Absolutely. Yeah. I was like, dude, what the hell is he talking about? He's like, oh, his forearm's not down. And it's like, what the hell is this? What is this then?
Right.
I don't know. It was just in the moment. I was like, man, that was like one of Charles Davis's worst moments. And then, so the Niners, they get the ball because it's called back. Purdy was able to roll out. Oh, he rolled left, and McCaffrey was able to, just get a wide open pass, for a touchdown. And it was awesome, dude. To see Purdy escape the pressure, go out, and I'm like, man, that's an MVP play.
That is something I was gonna. That is something I was gonna say about Purdy. Is like, I've noticed now every week he has at least one throw that's just a genuine MVP throw. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you're gonna touch on it here in a little bit here, but it might have been the third or fourth quarter, unless it was the second or first. But he threw one for the I guess you call it inside pylon to the left side of the end zone for Debo for Debo's second touchdown. Fucking Dime. Phenomenal throw. Dime.
Yeah. So, Purdy connects to McCaffrey for that touchdown. And then afterwards, like I sort of alluded to earlier, Kyler Murray got knocked out of the game. I believe it was Cleveland Farrell, hit him. Murray got hit hard, and I didn't necessarily understand what exactly his injury or discomfort was, but he checked back into the game and was missing a lot of throws after that. And then there was a play, when Arizona had the ball, where James Conner ran for like a 40+ yard run. And on that play, what I can see is, the offensive line, they blocked it very well. And then Tayshaun Gibson had an opportunity, I think, to make a tackle to sort of limit the damage, but you can see him hesitate and sort of start to run back and take his oh shit angle. And, James Conner just, kept picking up yards. So that ended with like a 40+ yard run. And then, oh my God, there was this play in the game where, all right, Randy Gregory had a boneheaded last second shove where he shoved an offensive lineman right into Nick Bosa's left ankle. And then Nick Bosa was like down with injury. And I was like, dude, he obviously didn't mean to push the guy into Bosa, but it's like, stay disciplined. Why do you need to, what reason did you have to like push the offensive lineman? Like, you nearly lost your best pass rusher, all because of like a selfish mistake. So I think Randy Gregory, hopefully, I think takes something from it and learns from it going forward and doesn't make the same mistake going forward. Um, and then, uh, after that, Nick Bosa seemed fine. I want to say that he was able to finish the game. Um, and then Christian McCaffrey had a rushing touchdown to make the game 35-16, and Deebo Samuel had a pretty nice block. And I think that was like the like dagger in the game. And then I've got here under my notes, I'm just sort of wrapping up. Warner and Randy Gregory missed tackles on a play where Amari DeMarcado rushed to the left for a touchdown. I don't think it was Fred Warner's best game either. And I was literally thinking at the time, I'm like, this isn't a good game for Randy Gregory, or at least the two plays that I highlighted. It wasn't necessarily that strong for Randy Gregory. So hopefully he can bounce back moving forward. And then on my notes, I literally wrote Purdy MVP, and it was that throw that we were just talking about, where the throw to the front pylon on the left of the end zone to Deebo Samuel. Deebo made a hell of a play, getting his body ready to catch that inbounds, and he turned a ball that might have been low for a couple of receivers, and it hit him square in the chest. So great throw by Purdy, excellent throw by Deebo. And Purdy MVP, and 2021 Deebo is unlocked. He is back. There's no question. And it worries me in the fantasy football playoffs, but my God, as a Niner fan, this could not be coming at a better time.
Yeah. These are just a few notes I have really quick. Deebo Samuel, okay. Kyle Shanahan scheming Deebo open is just scary for the rest of the NFL moving forward. That is what you guys have been apparently missing the past 2 years. So, yeah. I guess I'll start with the good then. And then Charvarius Ward, he should be an all-pro this season. And that's not something I really expected when he signed with the Niners. I just thought, oh, okay, like they're taking the Chiefs, like second to Tyrann Mathieu, ball hawk sort of player. But now it's like, dude, this guy is great. Mm-hmm. Okay.
He was a great fit when he came to San Francisco because of how physical he was. And, the Niners were more of like, like they played a lot of press coverage, like when he came to the team, and it was just like, man, perfect fit. Now with Steve Wilkes, it's a little bit different. They play off the ball a little bit more, and like, maybe they allow a little bit more yardage. But I mean, Charvarius Ward, in my next note, my next bullet point was Ward with the second interception. He had a fantastic game.
Yeah. And then I'll just kind of quick, just 2 points really. And this is it for me. 2 negatives that you have from this game for me. You mentioned it kind of to start, but the Niners are missing Javon Hargrave and Eric Armstead, your primary defensive tackles. The Cardinals rush for 236 yards on the Niners defense. 236. Like that's
a lot.
That's an amazing offensive performance on the ground for any given team. But against the Niners, like, whoa, okay. And then this is the other thing for me. This is just something I noticed on multiple plays. Javon Kinlaw was getting absolutely worked by the offensive guards on the Cardinals. Absolutely manhandled, pancaked left and right. So that's a guy in the playoffs you just don't want to see on the field, if I'm taking a wild guess from what I saw.
He struggled a lot. Like, I do remember seeing a lot of plays last season where he's just getting blown up off the line, off the line of scrimmage by, the Eagles offensive lineman in the NFC Championship. But I think Kinlaw's had a better season this year, but you'll have to, or I'll have to go back and look, and watch Javon Kinlaw, like, a little bit closer. Maybe I'll check out like the all 22 film of like, when he's in, but I'm definitely interested in looking.
Yeah, maybe Kinlaw's more of like the situational pass rusher and not quite the every down, also rush defense sort of defender because it clearly based off the stats it wasn't working, you know.
I don't think Kinlaw's that strong of a pass rusher. Like, no disrespect to, to Javon, but he's more of a I feel like the I guess personality, like the on-field personality that he's kind of built up is, he's a rotational defensive lineman that, comes in and I would say he's stronger against the run than he is against the pass. Or at least, supposed to be. Based on what you're telling me, it's like, you know, uh it's a little bit alarming, but maybe props to the Arizona defensive line.
Yeah, offensive line, but yes, I
Yeah,
I do
offensive line.
think I do think their offensive line was having a good game, and I just think at the end of the day, Kinlaw didn't have much interior help, so
Mhm.
that probably didn't help at all. Um, they were just running up the middle because they knew that the Niners defensive tackles were missing,
Mhm.
starters. So
Yeah, but it's
yeah,
going to take a lot more than just constantly running to beat this 49ers team. They are
that
lethal on offense.
that and also, I mean, I said it a week ago. When Hargrave was questionable with, I think it's a calf or whatever he's got going on. It's like soft tissue. It's better to sit him and let him get healthy, and maybe the rush defense struggles, but you guys still win games. Then force him to play, re-injure, and then he's out of the playoffs. Like
Mhm.
it's not worth playing him. So
Mhm. And then my last bullet point here. This was after the game, or maybe towards the end of the game. Uh, but my dad called me. He called me a couple times during the game, and he said that Brock Purdy looks like if Kyle Shanahan and Joe Montana had a baby.
yeah, I wouldn't really know much about Joe Montana, so that's good. Um, Obviously Joe Montana made all the throws, and I think Purdy is making all the throws right now. So I'll put it that way.
Yeah. So that almost interception, that was the Kyle Shanahan half coming out of baby Brock Purdy or baby Montana, whatever you want to call it. All the other, the great throws, that's Joe Montana right there. And all the play calling, it's Kyle Shanahan. So, hey, I thought it was funny. And, you know, it will be interesting. I think Brock Purdy had uh, another performance that absolutely adds to his MVP sort of, you know, his case for being MVP.
Yeah.